simple inquiry of USAID deal with waste, fraud, and abuse?
So the first thing, my question is about the USAID. So on January 20th, the entire Function 150 account of the federal budget, which is all of the State Department and USAID, including operations, salaries, was roughly about 1% of the budget.
Well, what I can tell you is President Trump was elected to change the status quo. Part of what has initiated this dynamic that we've all watched play out is what's it been? I think it's been 6 weeks, is an effort to deal with waste, fraud, and abuse. This began with a simple inquiry of USAID to look at their books, to look and inquire, and they refused. They said, we're an autonomous organization, you have no right to come in. The intention was not to do it in a manner that you've been watching unfold. It began because there was no cooperation at the beginning. And the inquiry, of course, was because of the debt, the nature of being $2 trillion, that it was an unsustainable and remains an unsustainable way of running anything, a household or a government. There's a point where you have to look up and say, we need to see at least what's happening. So this has been a pause, a 90-day pause, we shouldn't forget that, to look at the nature of how the taxpayer money has been spent and if it was being used in the proper way for the things that we've allotted it for. And that began. It was certainly in a manner that was not planned on, but we needed to do it. It was something that was, of course, important to accomplish the nature of dealing with, is there fraud, is there abuse, is there waste, how can we fix the system so that taxpayer dollars are being used properly. And in the process, of course, we've looked through some of these issues. You heard at the joint session of Congress addressed by the President, some of the remarkable programs that we were paying for around the world, millions of dollars. Clearly, change has had to be made. And that's what we're doing right now. There's change not only when it comes to what's being funded, but also how the bureaucracy works, and if a bureaucracy the size that it was needed to exist in the way that it exists. All of this review is important. At the same time, within a review like this, because you're looking at whether or not there's an efficiency in the way money is spent,